Hey everybody, Pastor Vern with the daily update for, let's see, where are we at by now? We are at June 9th, Tuesday, 2020. We did not have an update yesterday. Things for ministry events is starting to pick up a little bit. I had other issues that I needed to handle yesterday, and I just didn't get to it. So hopefully we'll get back on this schedule again a little bit and be able to keep the dailies going. In some ways, it's good. In the last few days, I've had a couple memorial services, and I did a little family wedding the other day too, for some folks. And so some of those processes that have been put on a hold for a while for me are starting to pick up. Also, there's administrative things both within the local church and the conference that are starting to become a little more numerous, a little more urgent. And so we're working on that. We continue to work towards what is a good way, a proficient way to get started with worship again, other than online. It looks like now it's going to vary from location to location, depending a little bit on the uniqueness of each congregation and of their situations. But we're going to let you know what's going on. We are going to try to send out something to inform you in enough time for you to make adequate arrangements and be a part of that process if you're comfortable with that. And today, I think we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on in the world. We know that the COVID it has been a devastating thing in many ways. And the thing that's unusual about it is I think it's everything from something that people are highly concerned about to some folks basically considering it a non-event. And so there's a lot of different opinion on how this is playing out. We have folks that are really cautious. We have folks who are looking at the information and saying, well, this may be my risk tolerance and it may be different than yours. And we have people who do not feel that there's any measures that are necessary at this point to combat or slow down or change the curb, whatever the catchphrases have been. So we have to look at that a little bit, but we know it's affected all of us. It's affected employment. It's affected affected finance for a lot of folks. It's affected how we relate to one another. And I'm asking for people to show a particular kindness at this point to allow people to assess their own situations, not to be too highly critical of doing things one way or another. And to try to understand that we have a lot of different ideas about what the impacts and the repercussions of what we're going through are, and that somebody's feelings because they're different years doesn't mean they're not valid. All right. And that also has a lot to do with the other things that are going on in the world right now. We know we are in the midst of a lot of turmoil with protests, with actual rioting in some places. We're seeing, I think we're seeing a little bit of the righting of the ship, if you want to use that term, where the leadership of those who are really seeking something that will make life better for everyone are kind of coming to the top and trying to make sure that this isn't an excuse for violence and property damage and so on, that it's a legitimate cause of concern for folks, and that they feel the best way to get their voices heard is to be by being out and letting the world know. That's okay. That's part of our process in this country. We have that right to voice those things. And we also have the right to have opposition to it. But it has to stay within the realm of civility. Remember that. I have my opinions about it just as you have yours. I see organizations working that I think are uniquely and genuinely trying to move into a place where to better the lives of us as Americans. And there's other groups that are using this as an excuse to cause turmoil to separate us more. But once again, along with the COVID thing, what basically is if we're good people, we show mercy, we show grace, and we show kindness, that's the best cure for things that ail us as a society. Being extreme, either way, doesn't help as much as being faithful, courteous, kind, understanding, and trying to come to a place where, as Wesley said, do no harm, but do all the good you can do everywhere that you can. I think we're going to be okay if we do that. We're going to be okay. So I just wanted to lift that up to you today. We'll get back to some more teaching moments tomorrow, hopefully, and pursue that a little bit more. But I think we just needed a moment to take a breath and say to each other, we've been under a lot of pressure. We've been under a lot of stress. I know personally I've had to apologize more in the last week than I have in a long time because of the shortness of temper and tolerance. And we're all human, and we all get to that place sometime. And that's born out of frustration isn't productive. So let's just all take a step back, take a breath, say, okay, let's move forward for the common good to the best we can. All right. Continue to watch over each other, take care of one another the best you can. Stay in touch with God. Keep your faith strong. And we'll see you tomorrow. Blessings.